What's going on, guys? It's Scott Crow from Ocean State Aquatics TV, and today we're talking about one of the things that some of you guys absolutely hate to do, but it's probably one of the most important things of reef keeping. That's right, this week's OSA Pro Tip of the Week is water changes, how to keep them simple and why they're so important. Before you put any water in your aquarium, let's talk about what you can't put in there, and that is tap water or well water. Why is that? Because we're going to run into TDSs, total dissolved solids. The issue with total dissolved solids is that comes from phosphates, nitrates, chloramine, chlorines, metals that are inside your water that you're going to possibly put that into your reef system. So what do we do to stop that, prevent that? Well, we use a reverse osmosis deionization system, or we call it an RODI system for short. You're going to want to use at least a 4-stage system because you want to get the most purest, cleanest water for your reef aquarium. By limiting TDSs, you're actually reducing any sort of algae blooms. Mostly what I'm talking about is the worst and the dreaded hair algae. Anyone that's ever had this knows it's an absolute nightmare and we want to prevent it. It also helps us prevent against cyanobacteria and other sort of algae blooms, as we've heard before. Now, the other big reasons is we want to prevent any sort of metals from being in the tank, because over time that will eventually have our demise of our entire reef aquarium. These RODI systems are extremely important, and you want the purest, cleanest water to mix with our salts. With this water so clean, we actually use the salts to add minerals to our aquariums. One of the biggest questions we get asked is, how often should I do water changes? Well, in the field, with a lot of experience that we've come across, it seems to work best for us and the aquarium itself, bi-weekly water changes. When you do 25 to 30% bi-weekly water changes, we see a lot better success on the aquarium healthiness and overall aquarium cleanliness. We have greater success by doing this, and we see a lot of phosphate drops and nitrate drops in the aquariums as well. The next thing you want to make sure you use is a good quality salt, something with a strong alkalinity base. The thing you got to understand is alkalinity is going up higher, raising, where it's going to hold your pH. If you were going more acidic, you're actually going to a lower pH. Some low quality salts will actually cause that issue. So you want to make sure you use a good quality salt with a good quality alkaline base. Now, there's two ways of adding water to your system. One, you can go to your local reef shop and you can buy pre-made water for yourself. You can buy that in jugs. You're just going to bring down your 5-gallon buckets and you come pick it up and take it home and do the water change that way. But number two is by adding your own RODI system. And that is probably the absolute best way of doing it. Reason being is you're doing great quality control by you keep an eye on the cartridges and how they're changed yourself, and also if a disaster ever happens. Anyone knows that if you ever had an enemy get stuck in a power head, you definitely need an RODI system to do a large water change to make sure you get all those organics out of the water column. If you have a 90-gallon system or less, it's not a bad idea to go to the reef store and buy water. It's a lot easier and more convenient for someone that has a smaller tank. But once you start getting 90 gallons or over, then you're going to want an RODI system. Once you have that RODI system, it's a lot easier to make a mixing station. You can do this two ways. You can use a large industrial chemi container. You can use one, or you can use two. When we use two systems like we do install in the field, we like to use that one to keep RO separated and another one to use RO where we can mix salts. On an RO mixing station, we have container number 1 and we have container number 2. On container number 1 is where the RO deionization water comes right in. The RODI water comes in and we hold just in container 1, just the RODI water. Now you'll see ball valves going to container number 2. We can open up the ball valves to place container number 2 with RODI water, but container number 2 is strictly where we make our RO salt mix. So container number 2 is salt mix, while container number 1 is all RODI water. Between container number 1 and container number 2, you see a large external pump. We use a powerful external pump. This one right here is actually rated for 2,000 gallons per hour. Why are we using a pump that big? Great question. We want to be able to control the RO water to the mixing station. So we're moving container 1 to container 2. We're mixing salt in container number 2. That's why those ball valves are there, so we can shut off any unwanted salt mixes going from container 1 to our RO units. Now you see the pipe continues up the middle. We can use with that 2,000 gallon per hour pump, we can actually pump that either up a second floor or to a life support system. A mixing station like this might look complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it becomes very easy to use. And it actually makes your life a lot easier because you get to do these large water changes very easily. If you have questions on a system like this, we can help you design it here at OSA. We can help you install it. We can even build it for you. If you have any questions, make sure you hit us up in the comment section below. And as always, guys, keep on reefing.